crime, Eli, and we are just really excited to have you here. Um, you have just signed on to this week-long experiment dedicated to one of NASA's newest Earth observing missions, PACE, the Plankton Aerosol Cloud and Ocean Ecosystem mission. But this week is beyond PACE itself. It's not just about the sensor. It's about what it becomes when it starts colliding with fishery science and ecosystem questions and a lot of management realities. And we're very excited to be able to set up a virtual space with a lot of very smart human beings who don't all maybe speak the same language. And we're very intentional about this. There's going to be folks on here who might be really, really savvy in remote sensing, and others who are, heavy into the, fishery side of things, or, some other aspect of ecosystem science. But you're all here for one common reason. We're here to learn and hopefully learn more about one or the other. So in any case, you're in the right place. By the end of this week, it's our intent that you're not just going to know more about PACE, but you will have kind of interacted with it and broken things and argued with it, and hopefully started to build things that didn't exist last Monday. So thank you all so much for attending and for trusting us with a week of your time. We know how valuable that is. Just to set the stage about sort of where we are here. What we're doing this week, it's not necessarily a hackathon, and it's not it's not a summer school either. It's kind of somewhere in between. So if we have a summer school that's kind of over here, that's really structured and lecture heavy, and a hackathon lives way over here where we're just like computing 24/7, and the hack weeks kind of live right in the middle here. We're going to be going over tutorials to give everyone a shared footing. We're going to have lots of peer learning. It's very often the case that you're probably going to learn more from each other than you will from us. And we're going to have collaborative projects and ideally a lot of cross sort of pollination across scientific silos here. And this works. This model works really well because it's flexible. So as we go about this week, just try to remember that our goal is going to be progress and not perfection. So we're going to be trying to, if a good successful outcome of this week is going to be having some working prototype, or a partially answered question, a clean data set, even just a clear roadmap for what comes next. So those are all going to be big wins for us. So before we dive into the mechanics here, I just want to put some faces to the names here. So my name is Ryan Vandermeulen, and I work at NOAA Fisheries headquarters as the satellite coordinator. It's kind of under my purview just to help get satellite data more integrated into sort of the fisheries management framework. And part of that is why we're here, is to try to help kind of build that community from the ground up and get folks using some of this new satellite data. I'll hand it over to Eli if you want to introduce yourself as well.
Hi, everyone. I am Eli Holmes. I am the lead of NOAA Fisheries Open Science. I have been involved with lots of hack weeks. I was involved in the last two in-person PACE hack weeks. I've done lots of ocean hack weeks. I've run virtual hack weeks. Also, I really like this format of learning and introducing people to using ocean data in new ways that they didn't know how to do before. And also, I am always inspired by how much people can learn and do on a project in really, it's kind of 4 days. And, I myself have also participated as a participant rather than an instructor. And I always learn a lot. And I've gotten some project ideas kind of off the ground. A hack week isn't a time where you get like it's a time of exploration Let's put it that way. And so like if you have kind of an idea that you're like, wow, I've never done this before. I've never played with that kind of data. This is a really great place to do that. And it's a fun time. All right, I'll hand it back to you, Ryan.
Awesome. Thanks, Eli. Yeah, we both have a very approachable nature, so don't be afraid to reach out and ask for any help. We'll also have a help desk with a lot of other friendly faces. Speaking of which, none of this is possible, without the success. We don't succeed without the help of all these other wonderful our co-conspirators and all the speakers who have come to agree to speak to you all this week. They're all here because they're excited about PACE, and also because they really care deeply about how this data is getting used in fisheries, ecosystems, real world science specifically. The work you all do in integrating this sort of data, I mean, it's very important towards making sure that we have the justification to keep launching these sort of missions. And it is ever more critical, in modern times, that we have good points of contact where the science is meeting the applications. So really happy that everyone was here. That they're all very motivated to get this to help move that along. We also have a really good group of mentors. So these are the folks who are going to be staffing the Python help desk, where you can ask about coding questions, data questions, science questions, what have you. We're going to talk about that in a little bit, and just know that this help desk will be here just for that, to help you. It's not admitting defeat. It's how Hackweeks move faster. So don't be shy. Everyone is really happy to help. Okay, so that's kind of the support structure for the week. Now that you've met the people who are here to help and guide you and debug things, now it is your turn. I'm going to pull up a. Where did I put it? I have too many things open at one time, and I lost it. Well, while I'm looking for that, you go ahead and use that QR code there, and I will log into what I apparently logged out of. Yippee-doo. Right, yeah, go. Present this. All right. And if you happen to miss that little QR code, here it is here, or you can go into your desk on your desktop and go to slido.com. This number is still active. We left this open from this morning as well, so we can kind of get an idea of our total contribution. We just kind of want to get a cross section of the demographic that we're interacting with. This morning, yeah, our top contributors or participants were in the sort of academic research realm, which is great. We also have a really good population of students in here, and some industry and technology folks. And we have some, I'm curious about the others as well. I want to follow up with that later and see what the sort of what's not represented here that showed up to this. Very cool. All right. Next, just doing a little temperature check. The world is a crazy place, these days, and just wanted to see how you all are. Do a little mental health check-in. How are you all doing? Hanging in there? Are we stoked? Are we ready to go? Or it's okay wherever you are in your sort of emotional state. At any given day, I might go through all four of these. So it's you're good wherever you are, and you are welcome here. So. As you can tell, I have a bit of an affinity for The Simpsons, although I feel like they didn't really put anything that great out after season 8. But okay, I love to ask this so much. So if just to get an idea of how diabolically minded you all are, and you're going to have to get creative here throughout the week, right? So getting creative, I would like to ask you all if you could just do one thing that was just mildly inconvenient to someone in their house. You know, I don't want to say you have to break in to do it. Let's just say, you know, you're able to get into their house and just mildly inconvenience one of your friends. What would you do? You know, we're talking turning socks inside out or things like that. You could see some of the things that folks this morning had put, but it's always fun to see what level of evil is amongst us. I didn't intend to do exactly what Mr. Burns is doing, but that's. I'll sell him the sugar pot. That would be. I think I've done that on accident before. Googly eyes in odd places. I love that. My partner had done that once for a April Fool's joke. We take April Fool's very, very seriously in this household, and sometimes they go a little overboard. Speaking of which, one year I actually set the time, I think, ahead by like 2 hours. I'm talking every single little bit of time, like the computer, the TV time, the microwave time, the coffee, and everything, and had her believing that we were living in sort of some sort of different time zone that was happening, and when the sun started, setting at like 11 o'clock or something, she's like, what the heck is going on? That sort of evil. All right. Teach the very well-mannered, quiet talking monkey. All right. We also want to ask if you could solve one big fisheries or ecosystem management problem or research question today, what would it be? Maybe not all of you come from a sort of fisheries or ecosystem background. That's all right as well. But we just kind of want to get an idea of where your head is at and what sort of things are concerning you. I like this one at the bottom here. It says, have data be trustworthy and utilized for management decisions. That's a big one. We have a lot of access to this amazing data, but getting folks to trust it and understand it and utilize it in decision making. This is sort of where the folks that we have targeted for this Hack Week. This is where a lot of your charges and where we want to help along that journey to have access to some of these tools. Oh, did it tag these as well? It's kind of, I didn't know it did that. Anyways, feel free to keep filling this out as well. It's always nice to collect all this information as well, so we kind of get a good idea. All right. I'll wrap that up for now. Thank you all so much, and wonderful to meet you. Look forward to interacting with you more during this week. All right, so let's just go over the objectives for this week. We'll keep them simple. We want to learn things, build things, meet people, and leave better connected than when we arrive. So just taking these one at a time. First, learning new things, and that is going to include learning what you don't know, right? So this is, we're not trying to impress anyone this week. We're all sort of in a learning space. This is a Hack Week. Confusion is a good thing. That is sort of where we're meant to be at certain times, and this is your safe space to really get out of your comfort zone. Second part, getting hands-on experience. You will write code, open data sets. You might break something in the process. That's how this works, and that's a good thing. It means you're pushing hard if you start breaking things. So the other is collaborating across disciplines, and this is a big one. Some of the best outcomes from past Hack Weeks didn't come from having the cleanest code. It's about the conversations that you're having during this week while you're doing all this. The cross-pollination is really an important aspect. And finally, building a community of practice. This is this is not meant to be sort of a one and done event here. If we've done our job right, you'll leave with people you can email and Slack messages that you're not afraid to send, and just have ideas that keep growing after this week. A few important reminders that I do want to put out. Remember to strive for curiosity this week over perfection. No one's going to be grading your GitHub repo at the end of the week. This is really about exploration. So get creative, get weird, have fun. A lot of the most interesting science just starts as some crazy idea that you write down on the back of a napkin. So this is the week to explore some of that, and be sure to support one another across our tools and skill levels. Share what you know and ask when you don't. And remember, this is just a starting point. We're planting seeds here, and I'm really excited, particularly for those of you who maybe don't have any prior satellite experience. It feels very awesome, when you make your first map, and that in itself is a big win for us. Eli, you had chimed in earlier and mentioned some sort of great aspects of just about some of the interactions. Do you mind relaying just a little bit of that?
Yeah. So, this type of Hack Week is a learning experience. And it's a learning experience where you're not just sitting listening to lectures, you're jumping in and doing things that you find interesting. And as someone who's like run a lot of Hack Weeks and also has been in Hack Weeks as a participant, whatever you want to learn is good. Whatever you want to work on is good. And we have people who are very junior to very senior. We have people who their career is about remote sensing data, and people for whom it's brand new. And we all come together to learn together. And so, like, one way to make a Hack Week successful is to get clear in your own head, own mind, about what you want to get out of it. And whatever you want to get out of it is good. So, like, if you are like, hey, you saw the lectures that we had. You're at a little bit of an advantage to the east because you got to see the lectures. So, maybe there's a type of data that Ryan talked about, and you're like, oh, wow, I would like to learn how to do something with that data. I think it'd be interesting to associate that with like fish density, something like that. Or you may feel like, oh, wow, those were really cool visualizations that I saw. I'd like to learn how to make one of those. That's like a doable objective. All of those are doable objectives. But what's key is that you figure out for yourself what you'd like to learn this week, and then focus on that. I'll also say that in these projects, not everyone's the coder at all. And we also need people who can figure out or know, like, what are the interesting questions, or they just bring the enthusiasm to think about, hey, what could be an interesting science question. And then we bring people who are trying to they're learning, but what they bring is, hey, I'm going to be a good team member, and I'll help, like, help with the presentation at the end. I'm going to help, update the README. I'm going to, I'll help search for data and clean data, that sort of thing. So all different levels.
Yeah. Thanks, Eli. All right. So yeah, when we had originally planned this, of course, it was for it was meant to be an in-person event, and things happened, so we went virtual. And when Eli and I were talking about this, it's like, what, we can cater to both time slots here in the US. So it kind of ended up building around this sort of long hack day that you can get on either end of. So I just wanted to talk about the time zones here. We're going to have active project hack time for several hours each day. This is when we're going to code, explore, experiment, collaborate with all the team members. As you know, we're going to have those daily science lectures, and they're designed in such a way that whether you're on project work slot 1 in the east, catered towards more East Coast times versus project work slot 2 that's catered towards West Coast times, everyone's tuning in for the lectures and tutorials and getting the same information there. So anyways, after that, after the lectures, we layer in some of the Jupyter tutorials as well, and then it's project time for everyone. So just for a little additional clarity too on the group projects. I should mention too, you are welcome to join any one of these work slots. If one works better for you, that's just fine. We did have some group of people from the UTC +5 time zone as well. So we can. There are ways, but yeah, ideally we want at least some time in which everyone is overlapping. It's an important part of aspect of this week. So we want to encourage you to try to work within as much as you can within these project time slots. Okay, so the group projects, this is really where the Hack Week shines, and but we do want to also put out some expectations. We want to target groups that are about in the sort of 3 to 7 size people. This is kind of the sweet spot. Smaller than that, and if someone kind of disappears for the afternoon, everything kind of stops. And if it's bigger than that, you're basically scheduling meetings. We're trying to get away from a meeting type of week. All right, that 5 or 6 again is a real good middle zone here. If we do find that a particular project as we're sort of getting into groups later, if it becomes really large and 10 to 15 people are in it, we can kind of find creative ways to help ask the same question, but maybe do it in a different area, or divide and conquer the scope so that the groups are kind of complementary but independent. And also collaboration as well. It can be challenging to foster engagement in a virtual space relative to being in person, but we've set things up to really make this as smooth as possible. And so we're going to have a Slack. We're going to be using Slack quite a bit for kind of our day-to-day communications, where we'll post messages, and you can join various projects from there. We're also going to have Zoom breakout rooms that'll be available whenever teams want some focused time together, whether it's for planning or coding, or collectively, staring at a plot, what have you. So please do use these tools. They are available to you, and they'll help you move your project forward. And I also want to mention to, Eli kind of touched on this, but manage expectations. This is a 1-week event. A successful project doesn't have to be earth-shaking, answering some huge scientific question, or be fully optimized, turn into a paper by Friday. Okay. It might just be some sort of working prototype, or on your way to a working prototype, just a data set that was cleaned up, or this, a shared notebook, even just steps for the next, a plan for the next step. So as mentioned earlier, even if you just leave the week saying we actually figured out what the right question was by the end of the week, that's good too. As a reminder, we really just want you to enjoy what you're doing this week and have fun with it. So the core hours are listed below here again. These are basically going to be the hours when you're going to have the most. There's going to be the most people here. You can find your teammates, mentors, help desk support. You are, of course, you have autonomy over this process. You can meet outside of these times as well, but just make sure you coordinate with your team members so you're all sort of working towards a collaborative goal. Just to circle back on the Slack channel. So this is kind of our central nervous system for the Hack Week here. If you're stuck, confused, unsure where to go, Slack is a great place to start. There's going to be a few core channels that we generally interact with. The general is channel there is for kind of announcements and more sort of broad scale questions. Here, we'll pin info. So if you feel like you missed something, you might want to check there first. The 2025 Fish Pace Hack Week, and we caught this earlier that I realized that we originally planned this for October 2025, so this is the 2026 Fish Pace Hack Week, but we're going with it because we already named everything. This is our main hallway conversation, so share updates, resources, links, general discussion at sort of the Hack Week level. And then more specifically, the 2025 Fish Pace projects. This is where our ideas are coming together and living. So if you have a project idea or half idea, this is the place to kind of post it or talk about various issues about the projects. And then your own individual channels as well as we get these projects spun up. We also have a help desk channel, which is kind of a front desk for getting help. Kind of expand on that here. We'll have a virtual help desk office hours, essentially Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And during this time, our mentors are available for one-on-one questions, for coding, science, whatever you need. They'll be actively watching the Slack as well. And you'll be able to talk face to face, and we can go out into various breakout rooms and try to hash out whatever problem you're having. But we're going to try to route this through the help desk Slack channel. That's it's if you don't want to necessarily meet, if it's a problem that doesn't necessarily need a face-to-face interaction, you could just put it in the help desk Slack channel. We'll answer it there. And if you need a breakout room, we'll handle that as well. Just make sure that feel free to use it. We're very, very happy and excited to help. There's a whole group of those 8 people who signed on, and their sole purpose was just to do the help desk here. So they want to be used for that. All right, real quick, a look ahead to Friday. We're going to wrap up the week with group presentations. It's not a huge thing. Everyone group is going to get a time slot of 8 minutes plus an additional 2 minutes for questions. It's not meant to be a conference talk or thesis defense level. You don't even have to use the full time, but we will ask that you at least respect the time constraint and not go over that to show respect for others, so we have time for everyone to present. Just what we want to do is just hear what you set out to do, how you approached it, what you found, what you built, and also we want to know what you learned from this experience. The challenges you ran into, things that weren't working, or the pivots you had to make. What you do next if you had more time. So everyone learns from those, and that's we really appreciate those. Next housekeeping item. So we're going to do this quick daily reflection called Rosebud Thorn. It's just a kind of a quick engagement activity. We're just going to spend 30 minutes reflecting as a group. Each group can just give a brief 2-minute update of the previous day. The rows, you just talk about what went well, what's thriving. The bud is where you're planning to go, what we can try next, what's the new idea that you want to nurture, what you're going to be working on that day. And then the thorn, issues you've run into, what's not working, what's kind of tripping you up. And the goal is to kind of help everyone, come in, we talk about our projects and keep everyone aligned, and then also to surface our challenges early to help make it easier for the mentors and organizers to issue help where it's needed. So this is not a review. Shape honestly, share honestly. It's low pressure, but just keep it short and support one another. So Eli has set up this Fisheries OpenScapes Jupyter Lab environment for us. This is cloud-based, so no installs, no version conflicts, no hunting for missing packages. You just log in and go. It's a shared workspace, so everyone on your team can see the same notebooks, data, and results in real time, as you kind of got a flavor for earlier in Eli's tutorial. There are references to navigating this on the FishPace website, and you can refer back to this throughout the week as well. Do remember to accept the FishPace GitHub invitation if you haven't already. So this is where our code is going to live, and the version control will happen. We have a link here to our Jupyter Lab environment that we'll be using, so be sure to bookmark this. This is where we're going to be working throughout the week. And again, there's detailed instructions on our FishPace website about getting things all set up. There's videos to watch and sort of step by step, screenshots and troubleshooting all in one place. So, um, if you don't need to figure out, you don't need to have everything figured out right away. You kind of go through this in your own time as well. But moving right along, our coding languages, everything's going to be presented in Python this week, but the Jupyter Hub does support Python in our environments, as Eli had shown. You're welcome to do a project in either language. You can if you want working even in MATLAB, if you're a MATLAB user. I'm a recovering one myself, but you will have people who are familiar with MATLAB and like the help desk as well. But if you're feeling adventurous, I encourage you to get out of your comfort zone and try diving in to the Python world, so we can really utilize the best open science tools that we have at our disposal here. It's really just the perfect week to take the plunge. I also want to mention, to just put a note in that I had a hard time kind of wrapping my head around this and being okay with it, but if utilized correctly, AI chatbots, things like ChatGPT or Gemini, can be really helpful in getting you up to speed, with especially if you're trying to transition from one coding language to another. Be very specific about how you ask questions, and it'll help you kind of go through line by line and talk about the logic of code, or help you convert equivalent syntax from another language. I just want to encourage you all. We have a relatively short time frame this week, so you can potentially use that to help you write some code. You have to take it with a grain of salt and double check things. Sometimes it can kind of hallucinate and give you weird things, but use it to help you prevent yourself from banging your head up against a wall for like, I've just been trying to create this plot for the last hour and it's like just a little syntax issue. Don't be proud. It's meant to help you sort of work more efficiently. The tools are there, can help you work smartly and more efficiently if you're careful and use it right. So our code of conduct policy, we want to make sure everyone's aware. This Hack Week is dedicated to providing a safe and harassment-free, inclusive environment for everyone. So please do respect and take advantage of the diversity of background and expertise in the room, and help us create an optimal learning environment. And we all have to do this. This relies on you as well. So we are not going to tolerate harassment of any kind. Sexual language or imagery, intimidation, unwelcome attention, other forms of harassment. They're not acceptable anywhere, anytime, not in Slack, Zoom, in-person discussions. So the full code of conduct is available on the website. The link is here. If you want the full details, you can review it there. But always remember to be professional, respectful, and supportive. And that's so it helps make this week a success for everyone. In reality, collaboration can sometimes be hard as well. People are different. We all have different experience levels, different communication styles, and whether we mean to or not, we can annoy each other. It's just human. So the Hack Week is short and exciting. So practicing being a good teammate is really important, as important as practicing the code. But it takes practice. One simple trick to make collaboration smoother is using things like we instead of you. If you're talking to one person, plural language, signals partnership. Instead of saying you need to do X, say we need to do X, or you should try this. Let's try this. It's subtle, but it really helps set a collaborative tone instantly. So another thing, share softly. Really small language tweaks can kind of make a big difference. Instead of do you know what X is? Maybe how familiar are you with X? Or it's just a matter of doing this. You could say there's a lot of resources to help with this particular thing, or this is a particular problem that I know that we can tackle. Instead of does this make sense? Did I explain that well, for instance? Or you should be using this. That thing doesn't work very well. Just mention that you've had good experiences with that particular thing, or you're worried about X for whatever reasons. Just share softly. Here we go. Also appreciate the thought process of your teammates. Every question is worth asking. Every idea is worth considering, and every obstacle is worth commiserating. So that's It's a really great question. It brings up a subtle point I hadn't thought of, or I love this. I really appreciate how creative it is. Positively reinforcing thought process creates psychological safety, and people are more willing to contribute and experiment and collaborate as well. So, try to keep this on the forefront of your mind as you're interacting with your team as well. Also, remember that experience is subjective. Uh, Everyone comes with different background, expertise, and comfort levels, and we really have a wide spectrum of that here. Be respectful of that, because just because something is obvious to you doesn't mean it's necessarily obvious to someone else, and vice versa. So this event thrives on respect and curiosity, not assumptions. And we really specifically recruited for folks who across the gamut, folks who are really well versed in remote sensing, and those who are inexperienced or kind of on the margins of working with satellite data, maybe never have, or open data, open access workflows. Just a word to our experienced users: please don't forget these folks. There's things that you have to learn from them as well. Scientists are notoriously bad at also communicating aspects of what they do to management. So take that time to talk about what it is you're doing. And you have time to conclude to continue on these projects after the hack week. Don't feel obligated. Just like work super hard because we have to wrap everything up for Friday's presentation. Don't leave people in the dust in that way. So focus on your team, creative thinking, and having fun. So all right. So all these resources, tutorials, lectures, links.
Yeah. Before you finish that, Ryan, I want to say a couple things also. In addition to being a good teammate, one thing that really helps Hack Weeks is if you try to just like kind of put yourself out there and put out your ideas. Hack Weeks are really fast, and if you kind of wait for the best idea, you get stuck on that. So it's a lot about like kind of spitballing ideas, throwing things out there, and also really sharing your work as you go along. So we'll be using GitHub. We'll show you how to push the tutorials or the notebooks that you work on. And I really like what I've seen over the years is if the group, the members, push their notebooks up every day, it really helps the whole group. Like if you might think, oh my God, who would want to see what I'm working on? It's just complete mess. But actually it really helps because that way they can see what you're doing and they'll get ideas. So we'll be kind of like pushing you to share your stuff as you go along. Share your complete rough, messy code. It's okay. It helps the team. The other thing is like being open to saying what you want to work on, right? If the group is working on something and you're like, I'd rather work more on kind of work on visualizations, or I want to work on this package called Hypercoast and see if I can understand that and visualize hyperspectral data. Go ahead and put that out there, and there may be somebody else who has a similar interest. So it's not the time to be shy at the Hack Weeks, and go ahead and put like rough work out there.
Yeah. Well said. Thanks, Eli. For everything, we kind of went over all these resources, tutorials, lectures, and links. They're all on our FishPace Hack Week site. Bookmark it. If you forget a step and want to review a tutorial, or you need resources for your project, it's all here. We tried to gather it's all the resources you might need there. So with that, we're gonna transition into the fun part here. So the plan for the rest of the day here. So this is kind of the interactive phase where we're going to start letting our brain juices, start flowing and think about the projects for the week. So we're going to focus on this for the next few hours, then have some time. This is a little changed from this kind of works backwards a little bit for the West Coast time, where we're starting with the lectures and tutorials and working on the group projects here. But so transitioning into our project brainstorming and breakout phase. So what we're going to do here is meant to be kind of structured but low pressure. The goal is going to be not locking in perfect teams or fully baked project plans. That's not this stage. This is just building up momentum, helping people find ideas and people that resonate. This is just meant for brainstorming here. We did create a series of Zoom breakout rooms that you'll soon be able to join. And we're gonna set this up to sort of 3 staggered rounds of breakout rooms, so it's not intimidating and have everything open all at once. We'll just focus on 4 at a time, and each of these sessions will be 20 minutes long. So in round 1, we'll open up rooms 1 through 4, and then round 2, 5 through 8, round 3, 9 through 12, and we've taken the liberty of pre-naming some of these breakout rooms based on the activity that we had in the Slack channel. These do not have to be set in stone. As we sort of move forward and talk about and sort of solidify the projects as well, you'll notice that some of these project ideas may have been taken up by folks on the East Coast. That's totally fine. That doesn't mean you can't tackle it. But I would encourage you to definitely create your own project idea if you're going to be working, solely on a different project time. But answering the same question and people diverging and seeing how they approach ideas differently is always fun to watch as well. But right now it's just about exploring ideas. If you have a project idea, this is going to be your chance to introduce it, expand on it. And if you're shopping around, this is your chance to get to listen and ask questions and see what's sort of sparking your interest. Be open here. You could pivot, you could switch rooms. It's all sort of part of the design here. So shop around, start thinking whether the scope of a project feels right, and if the skills kind of line up, or is this something, most importantly, is this something you want to spend the week next week obsessing over? So let's walk through this. We're going to open up the breakout room. So once you're in there, it's kind of how we'd like things to run. If you're representing a project, please just give a very short, maybe 2-minute description of the idea. If you have a slide that you were working on from our slide deck that we had posted in the Slack channel, it's a great time to have it up, but it doesn't need to be polished. Feel free to. Again, if you bring up one of those East Coast ones and you say, "Oh wow, this is geared towards East Coast time," feel free to copy that slide and delete the information there and put it for the West Coast time. On a similar topic. If there's not one person representing, that's fine. Start exploring the ideas amongst yourselves. Don't worry about the project name or the breakout group. This is just feel free to explore those ideas where you are. This is meant to kind of help guide you and not really restrict your process here.